80% of medical practices experience some form of embezzlement. 80%! This is Linda Burton, and today in our Wealthy Habits training, I will teach you how to review and understand a daily report of your practice to help reduce the risk of embezzlement. You see patients on a daily basis. This creates charges, which in turn generates payments. Are your charges and payments being entered daily? At the close of each day, I want your staff to provide you with a daily report. They should also give you a copy of a corresponding deposit slip showing the cash and checks. A daily report is a standard report within your practice management software. It may be called a daily transaction report, a daily edit report, a daily management summary. Whatever the name, they all contain the same basic information. We are looking at a snapshot of a daily report. Here you see columns for the date the transaction was entered, the date of service, the staff member that entered the transaction, the patient name or payer, the transaction description, the amount charged, paid, or adjusted. You see total sections of charges, adjustments, and payments. There are two philosophies when it comes to posting charges: real-time posting or batch posting. Real-time means your staff is posting charges the same day the service is performed, whether it be an office visit or a procedure. Batch means all charges are put to the side and posted the next day or subsequent days. There is not a right way or a wrong way, and you can successfully do a hybrid of the two. For example, if you are a surgeon, office visits and procedures may be posted real-time, and surgeries posted batch. It is important for you to know how your office handles posting, and your responsibility is to be timely in turning in your charges. Your staff is only as good as you are. Be responsible for your part. The next section is adjustments. There will be contractual insurance adjustments and professional courtesy adjustments, bad debt adjustments, those things that we talked about in our second module. And I'm sure you have read or heard horror stories about staff writing off balances in an effort to clean things up. With this report, you can spot that activity quickly. Payments consist of cash, checks, and credit cards. Credit cards are automatically deposited to your bank account daily. And of course, cash and checks are taken to the bank. You may have newer technology that allows you to deposit checks remotely, and then only cash is taken to the bank. If you are completely electronic, you still need to have a paper process in place should your electronic systems fail. But I want to spend a little more time talking about your money. You need a better procedure than keeping your fingers crossed that all your hard-earned money is making it to the bank. You need a policy for handling cash. Cash can easily walk. Start with 2 cash bags, one for petty cash and one for making change. Do not commingle the 2 bags. The petty cash bag needs about $100 for small office supplies, staff lunches, birthday parties, things of that nature. Receipts of purchases are put back in the bag, and those receipts will get reimbursed as needed. The change bag should have $200 in small bills as a starting point. Have a triplicate cash receipt book with numbered receipts. All cash payments need a handwritten receipt with the original given to the patient, a copy attached to the encounter form or super bill, and a copy staying in the receipt book. If you are 100% electronic, you still need to devise a paper trail for cash. As patients pay throughout the day, checks and cash are placed in the change bag. At the end of the day, when the daily report is printed, everything should be reconciled and in balance. Cash and checks should match the printout and a corresponding deposit slip made. There should still be $200 left in the change bag to start the next day. If this does not balance, then the staff needs to investigate. Something was posted incorrectly, or perhaps the wrong change was given. Find out where the discrepancy is. By using this two-bag procedure, you are implementing another internal control. Statistics show that when an employee becomes involved in embezzling, it usually starts small, like $20. They tell themselves they're going to borrow the money and they'll pay it back later. When they learn how easy it is, the amounts get larger and more often. If no one's monitoring daily, why bother paying it back? A daily routine will help reduce this risk and allow you to catch this type of activity sooner rather than later. Remember at the start of this module, I said I wanted the staff to provide you with a summary of the daily report and a copy of the corresponding deposit slip showing cash and checks. Not only do you have all the other information we talked about, but you can quickly see that the cash and checks are reconciled. This deposit is ready to go to the bank, and this amount is entered in your business checkbook. Deposits really should be taken every day or at least every other day. You don't want cash sitting around the office. It simply is too big of a temptation. You can see that this report gives you a lot of valuable information, and you can easily monitor when and how transactions are posted. We have Susie here that is posting charges and payments real time. That tells me that she probably works at the checkout desk and she is posting the same day the service is provided. And we have Alice that's posting batch. You can see by the dates that she's 2 weeks behind. Due to the nature of batch billing, you will always be at least 1 day behind. But 2 weeks? That's a red flag. And we have Jan who's posting insurance checks and adjustments. Depending on the size of your practice, she is probably in the billing office or she may be your practice manager. Keep all daily reports until after you've reconciled the month. You will learn how this all comes together during the expense side of this training. Look how powerful this daily procedure is. It gives you knowledge, internal controls, and accountability. Before we review, let me tell you about the clever thief. Certain specialties fill out a lot of attending physician statements, family medical leave authorization forms, disability forms, things like that. There's typically a small fee, like $25, that's collected prior to filling out the forms to help cover the cost of your staff's time. I was hired by a practice to do training on a new software program. During the training, I asked a simple question. How do you post your $25 form payments? The staff responded with, "Oh, we don't post those. We give them to the office manager. She keeps them in her desk." The daily deposits were also turned into the office manager. I took note and investigated later. I learned that if a deposit had cash on it, she would remove the cash from the deposit and replace it with the equal dollar amount of form checks, and a new deposit slip was made. The deposit total stayed the same. Since the form checks were never entered in the practice management software, these checks were never accounted for. This scheme totaled $35,000 over a 2-year period. So I tell you this story to point out that if you get deposits that never have cash on them, that is a red flag. People still pay with cash. I'm telling you, this stuff really happens. And why? One person handling all the finances, no internal controls, and no physician involvement. All right, let's do a quick review. I want you to meet with your staff and find out how they currently post charges and payments, real time or batch. Learn how the staff closes and balances the day. And you are allowed to make changes if you don't agree with their procedure. This is your practice. Implement a procedure on how you want cash handled. Implement a daily report with corresponding deposit slip to be given to you daily. Review all reports daily. And of course, I understand that you may not have time to do it daily, but the staff doesn't need to know that. Try to stay on top of it at least weekly. Save all reports for future reference. Most importantly, I want you to be involved. Thank you for joining me today. This is Linda Burton, your Wealthy Habits Trainer. I hope you found this informative and powerful. I'll see you in the next module.